Hi there, my name is Sam Claydon, and welcome to My Games That Weren't. This is a series in which I explore the indie games that I made that made it to the prototype stage but never any further. The last time we had a video, I was talking about a game called Ed's Excellent Adventure, and if you remember, I had a little wheel that I was spinning to see what game we're going to be talking about. Ed's Excellent Adventure is now off that wheel, it's gone, so now let's get ready to spin that wheel. Spin it again. And there we go, Into the Outside. Now this game I developed for only 2 weeks, back in January 2021, and this was another lockdown game. Woo! Yeah, so Ed's Excellent Adventure was made in the 2020 lockdown, whereas this game in 2021. So I don't know what this wheel is doing, if it wants me to just do the games that I made during that time. I don't know. But we'll get the bad times out of the way. Into the Outside, I really like the name of the game because basically the whole premise of this game was it was going to be a mobile endless runner that basically centers around exploring the world, because it was at a time where you couldn't explore the world because of the old COVID. So essentially you travel to different locations. So I had Rome, so I worked on like a Colosseum level. I also worked on Egypt, so I had like a level where you're going through different tombs and like you can see the pyramids in the background. So there's a mixture of like pixel art and 3D voxel art. It was the first time I ever created a mobile game, and I think probably the last time I've properly tried to make a mobile game. It's not for me. I wasn't a massive fan. I wasn't very good at making it run very well, which is not ideal for an endless runner. So hopefully I've learnt from my mistakes since 2021 and my games run perfectly smoothly now. Cut to my game now. When I was trying to figure out when this game was being developed, I remembered it being longer, but that might have been because we were locked inside and we couldn't go anywhere. So I thought I was working this game for about a month. Turns out only 2 weeks. So the game essentially used the character sprite sheet from my college project, and I basically adapted those characters to different characters that you could unlock. Back then, I wasn't very good at managing sound, so the videos that were initially on YouTube I've taken down now because I didn't do the audio very well, so you could either hear just music or you just heard me going, "Hello, this is a game. I hope you enjoy my game." Found it. I found it. I found the actual game. Oh my god. I have to try and figure out how I'm going to do this. I will record the gameplay. And show it to you. But I'm going to play it right now. Yeah, this is so cool. So it had like so I'm just in the swiping now, so you can go to each level. I think Egypt's the only one that works. And essentially with every level you'd have a passport, so you could pick your character from the passport. I think the red-haired guy is the only guy who has the 4 animations. But you confirm, and then you're off. I remember at the end of development, obviously I was trying to make it optimized, so there's no like post-processing anymore. But I had to change the controls to be like, because I couldn't do the whole like half screen do one thing, half screen do the other. So I went for the option of having like a 2-finger press to jump. So 2 fingers to jump, 1 finger to smack. Obviously that didn't really end up working very well. But the pause button did work. That's quite nice. And the quit button didn't work. And the mute button didn't work. But the resume did. Ooh, nice. If I can find a build that was at the end of development, I will put it in the description of this video if you want to give it a go. Sorry iPhone users, you can only play it on Android because it's an APK file and I don't have the files to the old project. You may be thinking, oh, Into the Outside, haven't you made a game called that before? I did end up reusing the name because I thought it's a really cool name. I just liked it. And don't you worry, I'm sure I'll make a game in the future called Into the Outside. Into the Outside. Into the Outside. I should have called it that. That would have been a great name. Into the Outside. So, when I initially came up with the idea, it was going to be an endless runner set in space. It looked too much like Jetpack Joyride, and that wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. Control-wise, there wasn't really much to it. I wanted to have half the screen be like the attack button, half the screen being the jump button. At that point in time, I could not program at all. So, touching the screen only does one thing, and that's jump. I thought jump was more important than smacking. I had so much fun creating the characters for this game. because it just gave me freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. The one thing that I didn't have in the game was obviously enemies. There were spikes in each level that you'd have to try and avoid, but in terms of the game, there wasn't really a game there. So it was a long time ago that I created this game. Yeah, I will not come back to it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Into the Outside. You are stuck in the outside now. You're chucked out of there. It was very much like one of those projects that I wanted to give a go. Trying out touch controls was really fun to experiment with. But the game wasn't really a game. I did have random generation in there in terms of like when you moved, it would just generate some chunk of some kind. I did end up using pieces of this code for the Calcium Crusader, which was a randomly generated platformer that I will talk about in the future. If we ever spin on it, if we ever land on it, I'm sure we will land on it. Due to just experimenting, and I think there was just other projects on at the time. I'm sure I'll show some screenshots of what else I was working on during that time. Into the Outside mobile game never came out, and that is why it was one of my games that weren't. It was slapped on this wheel, which is now has been removed. I thought it'd be quite fun to do like a little timeline of where these games are, so you can sort of have the idea of like if this game was made when I first started game development or nearer to now. So have a look at this timeline. Bam! There's nothing on it apart from Ed's Excellent Adventure and Into the Outside Mobile Edition. I think it'd be quite nice at the end of these videos that I showcase a little snippet of the games I'm actually working on at the moment, so I'm not just showing you stuff that will never be playable ever. So have a look at this little car of mine. A new level I've been working on. This is still like a prototype build, so take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of sea salt, because this little car of mine's set in Cornwall. But there we are. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thoroughly enjoyed this video. But Into the Outside, yeah, it's not coming back. But if I do have an APK, I will put it in the description. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this snippet of this little car of mine. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Thank you all. Bye bye.